Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 2 in a series between Bly versus Happy. Game 2 taking place here on Tall Dream Altar. Bly spawning as the orange Zerg here at what I'll call the 8 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Happy spawning as the teal Terran. Now, first thing that you'll notice here is that the Terran player is going to have a little bit of an advantage here on Tall Dream Altar. There's a little bit of give and take in terms of the size of the map, and Zerg players really benefiting from the amount of open area that is on the map. But unless it is a full cross spawn, Terran players do like this map for one of two things. Based upon Happy's current position, he could easily just siege tank and cliff his opponent here and deny this third. If his opponent had spawned off over here, then Bly would be forced to either expand towards his opponent or try to take an expansion that is very, very far away. We'll see what the strategies will be coming in from both of these players. No one has scouted each other out just quite yet. But based upon the meta style of this game, players could try to go for a hatchery or a command center first. Happy is not doing that, opting to get a barracks to train up some marines. We'll see if he does go for a refinery or if he's going to go for that economic play. No, he is going to be going for that refinery, perhaps for some reactor hellions to lay down some pressure. Now, we'll see what Bly is going to be doing in response to this. We are going into some drone, a drone now making its way over to the natural expansion location. The drone is going to grow up to be a hatchery. There it is, growing up to be the hatchery as a drone does slip inside the base of Happy. Happy gonna be revealed right here. Bly pretty much knows everything that's going on inside this base. The drone is just gonna slip back out. We should perhaps see a factory being established here in just a moment, and then perhaps even adding on a reactor here. Spawning pool has been placed down already. We are upgrading to an orbital command. Happy opting to go for that seems like the normal 15 supplier, 15 SCV. Yes, it is the standard. Oh, let's double check that. Yes, that is the standard 15 SCV before you set up, as we now might see a bunker being placed down. SCV being forced to turn around, though. Not going to be very successful with this bunker placement or bunker harassment, as the SCV just trying to wander around so far. This SCV will be backing away. It is going to be coming back up. We may perhaps see a bunker now be placed down. The bunker is now down, but I believe the drones are going to come over to do a little bit of fighting. The SCV does do a little bit of skirting around, as the Marine now getting in some easy shots. There is one Marine going up against 4 drones. That drone is now already low on hit points, but the SCV is now getting chased. The Marine now being forced to back off. The drone is slightly faster than those Marines. There are now 2 Marines in this group, as a Queen is now being trained as well. Are there Zerglings? No, I don't see any Zerglings in this group. 2 Marines, 4 Zerglings now making their way over, but I believe because of the lost time, the Zerglings and the drones will clean this up. Happy now just trying to retreat and run away with those Marines. Not going to be all too successful, taking down 1 Zergling, but that is pretty much it, as another Marine does get taken on as well. Happy sitting at 18/27. He is going into a factory. He was floating a fair amount of resources, and what has he been spending his money on? I'm not 100% sure. Most Terran players at this point should already be going into a second command center. Happy, however, not going into a second command center. He may be trying to follow up this with double factory, double reactor hellions, and this might be a problem. Most Zerg players know how to handle single factory reactor hellions, but the sheer amount of hellions that are added in a double factory, very, very difficult to deal with. As you now see 1 Zergling attempting to run away, it is just going to get torched here. Down it goes. And we should be getting a lot of Hellions up in just a moment. The Hellions will quickly get into the 4 count, and then perhaps even into the 8 count very, very quickly. 1 Spine Crawler on the ramp. We are getting into another Queen over here, so it looks like there are going to be a total of 2 Queens. There are no Creep Tumors, though. A Creep Tumor now finally being laid down by Bly to connect these 2 bases. A set of drones now making their way off to the north. And here we go. Here come the Hellion production, training up 3 Hellions at a time, 4 Hellions at a time now. Supply depots need to be built pretty much non-stop in order to support this production. There's a little bit of free cap room right now, 43/59. But if Happy does not constantly train up those buildings, that is going to be a little bit of a problem. Hellions now doing a bit of a run by, and here we go. One drone now down. Zerglings getting torched very easily. And now the Hellions just going to town on the mineral line, taking down so many drones and taking down a lot of Zerglings as well. Zerglings are getting torched here. Queen's now coming back around. Oh, the drones have to be very careful as the 3 more Hellions now make their way into the natural or into the main base. More drones are getting torched as the Zerglings are getting taken down. And now, what is this? Already up to 4 Hellions, a 5th Hellion being added. 6, 7, 8, 9. It looks like the Hellion production was slowed for a little bit. Too much microing, not enough macroing, as Bly is not going to have nearly as much to follow up. Zerglings, however, getting torched, just running across the field, and that is not what he wants to see happen. Zergling going to get taken down off over here. Happy now with a significant supply advantage as Queens now make their way over. Is it going to be enough? The Hellions torching all the drones, or all the Zerglings again, trying to get away. It looks like all the Zerglings will fall here. There is now 2 very low hit point Hellions, but the drivers very, very fast, able to get away. Where are those drones going? Not quite sure. It looks like 1 Roach, but a lot of drones are going to get torched here once more. Another round of drones. Oh, are they going to get lined up? That is just bad news right there. Bly losing so many drones in that engagement, and it looks like Happy has decided to cut his Hellion production after taking down 17 drones. But still, we are at 25 SCVs to 19 drones. Not too bad for Zerg, especially when you consider Bly is currently running off of 2 hatcheries, while Happy is only running on 1 command center. Bly will be able to easily re-macro up. But what is this? Another NASCAR race in the ready. The Hellions are ready to regroup, and now perhaps we are going to have a bit of a split here. Hellions now coming around down the far side. Hellions going to be coming up the front door as well. Hellions are backing away. Where are these Hellions going? Hellions are going to be able to make their way in. There are 2 Queens here. And what is happening? The Hellions now trying to push their way in. Are these Hellions going to be able to make it? There is creep down over here, and Happy's Hellions unable to deal any true damage, as we now see 9 more drones being trained, a starport being added, a necessary starport in order to perhaps execute a drop with these Hellions, as these Hellions will not be able to get inside this base anytime soon. All right. Overlord is still sitting off over here. All of these Hellions still looking very, very strong. 10 Hellions altogether. Roaches are here as well. Roaches with that range of 4, and because they can attack so quickly, really able to battle up against these Hellions, as opposed to the Hellions that need a little bit of time after they're moving to stop and acquire their targets. Here we go. Hellions versus Roaches. The Hellions are going to do a little bit of a dance. The Roaches getting in that little bit of a starburst. That is not a good trade at all. And a lot of Roaches were destroyed. Not quite sure who came out ahead there, as Creep Tumor is now going to get cleaned up. A lot of Creep Tumors getting destroyed. Down they go. And all of that hard work now for naught, as the units have all pretty much been destroyed. Marauders now being added. No concussive shells. We're seeing a heavy transition into Roaches. But with Stimpack, Combat Shield, and Marauders, those Marauders should be able to destroy those Roaches rather easily. Hellions now looking to back away. Orbital Command is going to be landing. Marines and Marauders ready with that medevac just in case there are any sort of run-bys coming in. Oh, all those Creep Tumors were canceled there, as the Hellions are going to look to regather and regroup. Roaches now coming down, and what are they going to do? Nope, the Hellions just backing off once more, and those Roaches able to take down those rocks very efficiently. And we'll see if Happy tries to take up another base. Still no reactor on this starport, surprisingly. Just a lot of reactors on barracks and some factories that are not really being utilized. Hellions looking to back away again. It looks like Creep Tumors were. No, they have not been laid down again. Mass Roaches against Mass Hellions. Those Hellions will get taken down again, as we now see a hatchery being placed down on the front door. A macro hatch by Bly, pretty much making it impossible for any units to really get in there. 1 Roach battling up against a group of Hellions. Yeah, just a group of Hellions, a race of Hellions here, as those Marines and Marauders are getting into position again. Perhaps some creep tumors, a scanner sweep could be coming in. Roaches battling up against the Hellions. Marines are there. Here we go. Here comes the stim, and here's a very large engagement. The Queen up on the high ground quickly gets taken down. Down goes an Evolution Chamber, losing some the melee attack upgrades. Down goes a Queen as well, as the macro hatch is going to fall. They're trying to pull away just a little bit out of the range of that spine crawler. There you go, and now in comes all the units, the Marines, the Starburst coming in off the Hellions, taking down many of those Broodlings, and now the Roaches unable to really fight this back. Happy sitting at 87 supply, Bly sitting at 102, but the majority of that is going to be in Roaches, which do not counter this Marine squadron all too much. And now the Hellions are backing away once more, and it looks like it will be a drop on the bottom corner, but doing it over creep, revealing the strategy. Happy not going to be happy, as there is going to be a welcome party of Roaches swarming and lying in wait. Here we go. Those medevacs are going to be backing off instead. There could have been perhaps another drive-by of Hellions to take down a lot of these drones. Harvester count 58 versus 40. And we see that the Marauders, what are these Marauders doing? The Marauders are simply just running back home, as the Marines and the Marauders here cleaning up some creep tumors, making sure that no more creep spread is available. A third command center now being established by Happy. You can see that Bly does have an Overlord off over here. Happy, does he spot it? No, he does not spot the Overlord. And it's as soon as he lifts off and tries to land it, Bly is pretty much going to know about that expansion and perhaps going to try to attack it. Happy transitioning now into the much more traditional siege tank with Marines and Marauders. And meanwhile, we see another drop happening over here. Happy may be able to perhaps take down the Baneling's Nest. The research is now still being added. It looks like the Baneling's Nest, no, not going to fall. Baneling's Nest needed about another 20 seconds or so in order to finish up that research. But we do see a destruction on the hatchery off over here. And now all the medevac has picked up all those units. And now in comes more Marines and Marauders over here. Is the Queen going to get taken down? The Baneling's Nest now taking a lot of damage. The movement speed upgrade has been completed. And oh, just a brilliant play here, as there are Marines and Marauders here. Roach is now trying to make their way forward. Banelings are going to crash into this. There you go, crashing through all of those Marines. There are still Marauders down over here, as the Marines and the Marauders still doing a great job trying to clean this up. And there is the pickup, moving away all of those units once more. Siege tanks 0-0 upgraded Marines and Marauders up against 0-1 upgraded Zerglings. That will help against any of those siege tanks, as the siege tanks do not have level 1 weapons upgrade, but they will soon, as we are going into an armory. Marines and Marauders holding by a Zelnaga tower here. They are going to get swarmed in just a second. The medevac should be picking them up. For some reason, decides not to, and Happy loses a small squadron outside here. A planetary fortress is being upgraded, and Marines and Marauders are trying to take down all of these Zerglings. That is a rather fast-moving army. And where are all of these units going to be going? What, Roaches and Zerglings now making their way in over here. The command center, oh, is it going to be able to lift off? SCVs now trying to run away. It is going to be forced to lift off. All of those SCVs destroyed in a matter of seconds. But now Happy using this opportunity to perhaps siege up on the low ground, as we mentioned. There you go, sieging up on the low ground. In comes a chain and just a line of units coming all the way back out of position, and Bly is going to most likely lose this hatchery here. Queen now taking a lot of damage. The siege tanks just outside of combat range in order to destroy that hatchery. Here we go. What is going to be happening next? You see all of these Marauders, Marines, and Banelings, both sides battling it up. A huge splash of Banelings going down. Siege tanks going to try to finish off. Good spread on these siege tanks. The hatchery does get destroyed. The Roaches now trying to come back in to save the rest of this here. It doesn't look like it will be all too successful. One Marine fighting up against 4 Roaches. Not a good fight at all. As Happy now looking to perhaps siege some tanks here and get and be able to perhaps defend what might be a crash of Roaches. Roaches, oh, pushing far, way too far, perhaps not expecting 4 siege tanks up on the high ground. I cannot believe that Bly actually stuck around for that fight. That was a horrible loss by Bly, and he took just terrible damage there. as Happy now looks to expand at the 10 o'clock location. Siege tanks making a move over here. There are roaches in position. We are going to see a destruction of creep tumors here. Medevac is ready to go, ready to once again heal once more. We are double training siege tanks off of 2 factories. If you're wondering why the siege tank count is so high, level 1 weapons upgrade now coming in as we are now transitioning into Mutalisk, and those Mutalisk going to get a free SCV or 2 here as the Marines now are able to push it back. Once again, Marines up on the high ground could destroy this base here. There are siege tanks spread across the map. Only 1 siege tank down over here. A little bit of a curious play as we may see this hatchery fall once more. There is 1 Hellion over here at the 6 o'clock location. Mutalisks are being forced to pull back. A missile turret is going to be added more as a cautionary measure as the roaches finish off this drop and after the hatchery was canceled or destroyed. 7 more drones being trained up. More mules are being added. Missile turrets being added as well. 1-1 upgrades. And here we go, Marines going after those Mutalisks. The Mutalisks able to back off still. The Hellions still getting in a lot of, just a small amount of damage onto that hatchery. Won't have any serious problems whatsoever as 1 Marine gonna get taken out. Nope, able to hold off against the creep tumors and the Zerglings. So nicely done there. That Marine doing its job, able to fend off the attack for a little while as the Zerglings now clean it up. Extractor, double extractors now being placed down. Happy in an alright situation. He is even on bases compared to his opponent. Bly just has 2 mining bases, trying to establish 2 more. Terran has actually 2 mining bases. Zerg only has 1 mining base. So Happy now starting to take a slight edge here as we now see another barracks getting destroyed. The Mutalisks being very, very careful, trying to micro their way through, backing off, and gonna look to re-engage again. Another barracks or another SCV may get taken down. Meanwhile, the siege tanks on the low ground continue their pressure, shooting up onto the high ground rather easily. The reinforcements still coming in. And we're seeing where these units are all going to go. Happy being very careful to make sure that all of his units are going to be sitting off over there. Missile turret now firing back. SCVs on constant auto repair most likely. No, they are just repairing manually. Marines now making their way over. Going to be able to shoot down some of those Mutalisks and push them away again. Marines looking to perhaps take down this macro hatch. Zerglings, roaches, and banelings are looking to come in. There is the hot pickup. The siege tanks may be able to slowly just continue this push in and deal even more damage to the Marines. Chasing a little bit, the hatchery is going to fall. There it goes. The siege tank getting off 1 shot there, and all the units are backing away furthermore. All right, Bly still does have this expansion at the 5 or 6 o'clock location. The Marines being very, very gutsy. A handful of Marines dealing a lot of damage, dancing under the cover fire of siege tanks. Zerglings and banelings. Oh, a nice baneling hit for that 1 siege tank, up to 10 kills already, and I believe Bly is starting to hit that tipping point. He needs to somehow get back into this game. What's going to happen? Oh, the medevac trying to drop Marines. It looks like it will be able to drop a couple, and all of those units are once again pulled back once more. A new medevac getting back up onto the high ground to reveal sight here. There are some siege tanks, a good amount of them, and now once again going up against those Mutalisks. Marines looking to try to deal more damage, unable to really do so, going after a baneling's nest. There is still a roach warren. We are going into infestors and to a greater spire. So unless Happy transitions into either a lot of Marines and is able to dodge some fungal growths or go into Vikings, he's going to be in trouble. Now, Happy doesn't really have any sort of follow-up play. He is going to try to build up another command center just in case this does not work out. That's what we've needed to see from him so far. Marines are upgraded 2-2, soon to be 3-3. We do have 8 siege tanks down on the low ground here, and so far there's this last 1 creep tumor. It will get destroyed, and now in come the Zerglings. Zerglings and fungal growth hitting off a handful of a half a dozen Marines and Marauders. More attacks, more baneling hits as the siege tanks continue to attack up onto the high ground. All those infestors being very, very careful to just wander around. The siege tanks are in position though, and with their level 1 weapons upgrade, they should be able to destroy many of those infestors. There is the blast attack. The medevac is not going to be able to heal up all of those units, able to save some of them, as we now see another Zergling Oh, what is going to happen here? Siege tanks could siege up. We see another attack down over here. Marines getting cleaned up by roaches. It is still 2 bases to mining versus 2 bases mining. So Bly is getting back into this and now going into 7 Broodlords. Those Broodlords are going to be a problem. Infestor, one Infestor does get taken down. The Marauder trying to finish off more Zerglings. Doesn't look like it will be successful. The Siege Tanks still trying to chain or leapfrog their way into the space over here. The Roaches now going to engage, but the Roaches battling up against unsieged Siege Tanks. The Roaches with unsieged Siege Tanks, they still have very high DPS. And the Roaches are all going to get destroyed here. The Infestors are not going to be able to make their way in. It's going to all come down to this flock of Broodlords. And these 7 Broodlords are pretty much the last saving grace as this hatchery is now destroyed. There are still a couple of drones. Overlord's now going to get taken down. Infestors are off over here. And in comes the Broodlords. Broodlings chasing after those Broodlords. Infestors could have gotten... There's a fungal growth. And wow, Happy going to lose this entire attacking force in just a matter of seconds. Vikings now being trained. A reactor on that Viking, on that starport now, double training them. And going into 2 more starports here. Looking into the bank, there is not much of a bank left for any of these players. However, Broodlords are rather slow, so the Siege Tanks could siege, stop the wave, and then pull back once more. You still see that there is a hatchery off over here by Bly. Bly wanting to get... wanting to saturate this as quickly as possible. Planetary Fortress off over here. SCVs now doing a little bit of long distance mining before that one Planetary Fortress was established. Broodlords now engaging fungal growth. Marines, Marauders. There is one Viking in the air, but the Corruptor unable to really protect it as there are so many Marines. There's another fungal growth, another Corruptor trying to chase after the Viking. The Viking getting ground support, and that may be enough. One Viking able to survive the onslaught, and with no more Corruptors, all these Broodlords will get taken down. Bly, what is he doing? He has the Viking. Oh, all right. The Broodlord does back off here. Infestors are pulling away. A new hatchery now established here at the natural expansion location. Planetary Fortress mining away desperately, almost a near saturation, adding in a couple more mules into that group as well. That is a lot of starports here. Yeah, triple starport. And able to quad train up Vikings. No reactors, level 1 weapons upgrade, and now Happy with a rather small bank looking to deal a lot of damage. Happy, does he know about that expansion? No, he does not know about this expansion here, but he perhaps could make that fair assumption pretty easily. Marines now going to hold the Zelnaga Tower. Siege tanks in position here. Nothing going down. Marines and Marauders. One Marine gonna go down, take down an Infestor perhaps. That is gonna be huge. Bly losing one Infestor. Oh, there is a burrow, but Bly may end up losing that Infestor as well. Now in comes some Zerglings. Zerglings are rallied to the wrong location. Bly is gonna lose this hatchery here and perhaps all hope. Broodlords are now making another move once more, but too many Vikings. Happy able to macro it up this time. I believe the Corruptor will get taken down, and with that, all the defense and there the Vikings just going to be able to continue to push. They are grouped together. A fungal growth could neutralize them, but there is the GG by Bly. So Bly losing game 2 in this series to Happy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.